Hello everyone. Let us learn on withholding tax in Dynamics 365 Finance. So, withholding tax is basically a tax deduction by the payer while making payment to a recipient, vendor, or a supplier. So basically, what it does that if a buyer has purchased any kind of a service or a product from the supplier, and when buyer has to make a payment to the vendor, so it withholds an amount of the tax and then it gives a net payment to the vendor. So in our example, we have taken it like suppose USMF will purchase a kind of installation service from the vendor, and then a vendor is enabled for withholding tax, and then when you are making a payment to the vendor, then you will withhold an amount of a tax or a percentage of the withholding tax on the invoice amount, and then you will make a net payment to the vendor. So let us proceed with the system. But yeah, before that, we need to do some kind of a basic settings or a configuration in the system. So when we are in withholding tax, we will look into the code. So in the code, we can see that we have attached the main account. So withholding tax is basically link with the main account where transaction will happen. And when you click on the value, so in our example, we'll take withholding tax demo, and when I click on the value, it says that a 5. So which means that I have enabled it from Jan 26 up to December 2026, a 5% of the tax on withholding. So I'll go back and see the another setting. So where I can say a withholding tax group. So in withholding tax group, you can create one of the tax group and then you can bring the value kind of a 5%. So let me create a new one, and then you bring the code that is created here. We will be using the 5%. So the moment you bring it, you can see the value will appear it here and just save the value. So these are the basic setting which you can see it is done in the system. Now I will proceed with the vendor. So we will be using ZP001 vendor, and the reason why are we using it that because we have enabled the withholding tax in the system. So you can go and cross verify it once. You can see we have enabled it, and we have also picked the withholding tax group that which we have created it. Now go to the invoice and click on the vendor invoice. Provide all the basic details which is needed. I want to make a payment on maybe within 2 3 days, so I'm just going to change some of the information, and then I'll click on the line, and I will pick the item number as like installation service, and I just change the amount maybe to 1000. Once done, you can cross verify the line details just to see that if all the information are available. Once you have cross verified all the details, you can just go and post it. Now I want to create a payment journal. So when I want to create a payment journal, I'll pick vendor pay, and I just want to create a payment proposal. I'll give some of the basic information so that it brings the pending invoice for me. I'll click on OK, and we see that amount is 931, which is, and just post it. Once the posting is happened, you can come and you can see the report. So for that, I'll come to withholding tax transaction, and I just click on OK, and I'll just maximize this screen. We can see that amount invoice amount to be paid is 980. The remaining will be a liability under USMF account. So you can also see here the withholding tax amount is how much, and what is an amount in default currency, what is an amount. So in withholding tax calculation, so this is how you see the end-to-end process, where you can learn on how to generate an invoice and how we make a payment journal. And then once you make a payment journal, the payment journal has split the amount. The system will automatically split the payment amount, and the remaining amount will be in the withholding tax liability account of the buyer. And this is an important link which you can refer it. And for the reporting also, we have seen that the transactions where it will be reflecting. Thank you.